This is the basket. Okay, if you want, you can use as a grocery bag or normal bag. You can just carry like this. And if you don't want to use as a grocery bag, you can use it as a storage basket like this itself. Okay, so this is the basket with two handles. It's not that big or not that small, a medium one. So let's start making crochet basket together. Here I'm using super chunky crochet yarn and 6 mm hook. Okay, so let's start. So let's begin by making slip knot. Okay, so next you have to put 3 foundation chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you have to insert your hook into the first stitch and have to join the circle. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops together. Okay, so now you got a gap over here, right? Next we are going to work into this gap, so let's move on to the next row. So put 1 chain, and in this row you have to put 6 single crochet stitches. As our basket is single crochet basket, we are going to put only single crochet stitch in this project. Okay, so insert your hook into this gap. Okay, and start doing single crochet stitch. 1. So I'm just marking here with stitch marker, as this is very small, be very difficult to find the first stitch. Okay, let's continue. So insert your hook into the same gap and have to do the second single crochet stitch. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here you have to, so let's join the circle. So here only you have to join. Okay, so you can remove the stitch marker now and insert your hook into the first stitch. Okay, and yarn over and do a slip stitch. Okay, so we join the circle. Let's move on to the next row. Put 1 chain and here you're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in each stitches. Okay, so let's start. And yarn over, pull out the hook and yarn together, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, and into the same stitch we are going to put 1 more single crochet stitch. So insert the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull out the hook and yarn together, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, next insert your hook into the next stitch. Okay, and yarn over, pull out the hook and yarn together, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, and again insert your hook into the same stitch itself, yarn over, pull out the hook and yarn together, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so you have to continue just like so till at the last stitch. Okay, and you have to join the circle. I finished the second row, so I'm going to join the circle into the first single crochet stitch which we made. Okay, I mark with stitch marker. If you want, you can do. If you don't want to do, no need. Okay, that's your wish. So let's join this to the first stitch. Okay, do a slip stitch. Okay, so second row is finished. Let's move on to the next row. Put 1 chain, and you have to put 2 single crochet stitches in each stitches. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch and do a single crochet stitch, and insert your hook into the same stitch and have to do 1 more single crochet stitch. So this way you have to continue this whole row. Okay, I'm going to mark here. So let's join the circle. I finished this row and I'm going to remove this stitch marker. Insert your hook into the first stitch. Okay, yarn over and do a slip stitch. Okay, so let's move on to the next row. So your fourth row also have to do the same way. You have to put 2 single crochet stitches in each stitches. Okay, and you have to join like this. So insert your hook into the next stitch and you have to do single crochet stitch. Insert your hook into the same stitch and you have to do 1 more single crochet stitch. I'm going to mark the first single crochet stitch which we made. Okay, and I'm going to continue the same way as we did in the previous row. Let's move on to the fourth row. Put 1 chain and insert your hook into the next stitch and you have to put 1 single crochet stitch. Okay, and I'm going to mark this stitch with stitch marker. Okay, so in the next stitch you have to put 2 single crochet stitch. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch and you have to do single crochet stitch and you have to put 1 more single crochet stitch into the same stitch. Okay, next one, into the next stitch you have to put 1 single crochet stitch. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch and you have to put a single crochet stitch, and into the next stitch you have to put 2 single crochet stitches. So insert your hook into the next stitch and you have to put a single crochet stitch and you have to do 1 more single crochet stitch into the same stitch. So you have to continue just like so. 1 single crochet stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, 1 single, 2 single, like that. You have to finish this entire row. Okay, almost finished this row. I'm going to remove the stitch marker from the stitch and I'm going to join the circle. Insert your hook into the last stitch and you have to do a slip stitch. Okay. So 1 2 3 4. So we finish 4 rows. Let's move on to the next row. Put 1 chain and you have to do only one single crochet stitch into the each stitch. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch. You have to do single crochet stitch. I'm going to mark the stitch with stitch marker. And again single crochet stitch into the next stitch. So you have to continue just like so. But if you want any help to learn single crochet stitch, please do check in the description box. I've given the link in the description box of my single crochet tutorial video. So let's finish this row. I'm almost finished at the 5th row. I'm going to join this row. Okay. So let's move on to the 6th row. Put 1 chain. You have to do the same thing which we done in the previous row. Okay, so insert your hook into the next stitch and have to do one single crochet stitch. Okay, 1 single crochet stitch. You have to continue just like so. Okay, I'm going to mark the first stitch. So let's continue. In each stitch you have to put one single crochet stitch. Let me finish this row till here. So I finished the 6th row. I'm going to join this to do a slip stitch. Okay, so let's continue the same way. You have to put one single crochet stitch in the each stitch. Okay, until you reach the desired length. You have to continue the same way. Okay, so let me finish this work. But if you feel like your base of the basket is coming like this, okay, what you have to do is here, as we done in the 4th row, the same steps you have to continue from the next row. I mean just a row, just 1 row. Okay, what you have to do is you have to put 1 chain and have to start the new row like a 4th row. What you have to do is first row, into the first stitch 1 single crochet stitch, second one 2 single crochet stitches, and to the next stitch 1 single crochet stitch. So alternately 1 2 1 2. This way you have to complete this entire row. Then you can continue doing the same row. I mean 1 stitches, 1 single crochet stitches in each stitches. Okay, if you feel like your base of the basket is coming this way, else no need, you can continue just like this row, the last row. Okay, here I finished working the base of the basket. So total 14 rows I've made, okay, with single crochet stitches. So let's move on to the next row. You have to hold the base of the basket this direction. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. Okay, here we put 1 chain, and next we are going to do ribbed single crochet stitches. Ribbed single crochet stitches are nothing but you have to do your single crochet stitches into the back loops. Okay, I'll show you which stitches back loop. So these are front loops and these are back loops. So we are going to do single crochet stitches into the back loops. Okay, not to the front and back together, or not to the front alone. You have to do your single crochet stitch into the back loops. Okay, so let's start. So what you have to do is insert your hook into the very next stitch. Okay, you have to insert your hook into the very next back loop. Okay, not to the front. I'm again telling you. Okay, not to the front, to the back. Okay, and you have to do a single crochet stitch into the next stitch, or into the next back loop. We have to do one single crochet stitch. So we did 2 ribbed single crochet stitches. Next, what you have to do is you have to skip the very next back loop or stitch, and you have to do single crochet stitch in the next 2 stitches, and again have to skip your next stitch. Okay, so you have to skip the very next stitch, as we did 2 ribbed single crochet stitches in the previous back loops. So skip that stitch and insert your hook into the next back loop, and you have to do a single crochet stitch, and to the next back loop again one more single crochet stitch. Okay, and skip the next stitch and insert your hook into the next back loop, and have to do single crochet stitch again to the next back loop, one single crochet stitch. So these kind of stitches are called ribbed single crochet stitches. It's nothing but you have to do your single crochet stitches into the back loops. Okay, not to the front, to the back. Okay, so 2 single crochet stitches, and you have to skip your next back loop or stitch. Then you have to do a single crochet stitch again in the next 2 stitches. Then you have to skip again, then 2 single crochet stitches, again you have to skip. Like that, you have to continue the whole row. Okay, so just so you have to continue the entire row. Okay, if you want, you can do without giving any gap. So you can just continue doing ribbed single crochet stitches without skipping any stitch. So what will happen is, so this row only will change your shape of the basket. This is the base, and we are going to extend from here till where you want your basket. So if you are doing without any gap, what will happen is it will look same as this. I mean, you'll feel like a flat circle. We want like this, right? So that only I told you to skip 1 stitch in between 2 single crochet stitches. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to mark the first stitch with stitch marker. Okay, into this stitch we are going to join this entire row. Okay, so in the end of this row you may find only 2 back loops or 2 stitches. So what you have to do is you have to skip the very next stitch and you have to insert your hook into the last stitch, last back loop, and you have to do a single crochet stitch. Okay, and removing stitch marker, and you have to insert your hook into this stitch. Okay, and do a slip stitch. Okay, from here we are going to extend the basket. Okay, from the next row we are not going to skip any stitches, or we are not going to do our single crochet stitches into the back loops. Okay, we are going to do only normal single crochet stitches. So put one chain and insert your hook into the very next stitch together, front and back loop together. It's a normal single crochet stitch. So hereafter we are going to do only normal stitches, normal single crochet stitches. Okay, so 2 single crochet stitches in each stitches. Okay, so like so you have to continue until you achieve the desired length. You have to continue this way. You have to extend with single crochet stitches, I mean normal single crochet stitches. Okay, so once you finish this row, you have to do a slip knot and have to put one chain and have to continue the same way. Put normal single crochet stitches hereafter. Okay, insert your hook to the very next stitch. Okay, and you have to do single crochet stitches. Okay, and before that I'm going to mark with stitch marker to the first stitch. We put one chain, right, and you should mark like this. Insert your hook into the very next stitch and have to do a single crochet stitch, and here, okay, you have to mark. In the previous stitch you have to mark with stitch marker. If you don't want to mark, doesn't matter, it's completely your wish. Continue doing single crochet stitches into each stitches. Okay, so you should not skip any stitches, I'm again telling you. Okay, you have to work like this till you reach your desired length. Okay, I'll show you how to keep 2 handles. Till then I'm going to continue working with single crochet stitches just like I showed you. Okay, here I almost finish a row. I need to show you 2-3 ways to join the rows. So if you want, you can insert your hook into the last stitch and you can do a single crochet stitch, and you can insert your hook into the stitch which we marked with stitch marker, and you can do a slip stitch. Okay, you can do like that. If you want, you can do like this. Okay, this is one method. And second one, you can just skip the last stitch, insert the hook into the stitch which we marked with stitch marker, and you can do a slip stitch. Okay, the third one is no need to skip the last stitch. You can put single crochet stitch, and to this stitch which we mark with stitch marker, you can put a single crochet stitch, not slip stitch. Okay, okay, this is a little bit tricky. I'll show you one more time. Okay, in the last stitch we put single crochet stitch, and to this stitch which we marked with stitch marker, you can insert your hook and you can do a single crochet stitch. Okay, single crochet stitch. And what we did is we joined this row, and at the same time we started a new row as well. Okay, we joined the circle and at the same time we started a new row. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to remove the stitch marker and again mark this stitch with stitch marker. Okay, I removed from here and I put the stitch marker over here. Okay, so to this stitch only, the stitch we mark with stitch marker, to this stitch only we are going to join the next row. So that only I mark with stitch marker. So you have to join this row into this stitch. Okay, I think this method is perfect. Then other two will get perfect round shape. Okay, so if you want, you can go with other two ways or whichever way you want. I was just suggesting you, I was just showing you whichever way you want to join the row. You can join, you can do, that's your wish. Okay, so I'm doing this way. So now I'm going to continue the row and I'll join here into the stitch by doing a single crochet stitch, not by doing a slip stitch. Okay, so let's continue. Here I finished the base work and I did 20 rows of single crochet stitches, and now I'm going to join this row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the stitch marker. Okay, how we joined is we inserted the hook into the next stitch and we did a single crochet stitch, right? So here we are not going to, I'm not going to extend from here, so I'm not going to join like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm inserting the hook into the next stitch and I'm doing a slip stitch and I join this row. Okay, so next what I'm going to teach you is how to keep handles. Okay, like this we can take the basket like this if we keep two handles. So one I'm going to keep here, another one will come over here. So let's do that. I'll show you how to measure. So we need exact point, right? So should not reduce or increase. So we need a proper size for handle. So what you have to do is fold this half. Okay, like this. Okay, now we'll get a center point. Okay, here. Okay, there I'm going to mark. Okay, I've marked. Now what you have to do is from here we are going to start putting handle. So what you have to do is you have to just count. So 1, okay, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and next you have to take 5 more from this side, so you'll get the exact measurement. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this is the point. So total 10 stitches. So we got the center point and from here you have to count, because from here only we are going to start the work. And from here totally how much you are going to get till here, plus the same number you have to count from here till here. Okay, here to this side. So this is 5, so plus 5 more. If it is 7, you have to count 7 more, so then only you will get exact one. Okay, so now I'm going to mark. Okay, till here one handle will come, and here also we have to mark. Okay, this side also I have marked. Here also I'm going to mark, because here only we are going to start. So opposite side of this I'm going to mark with stitch marker. Okay, you can use stitch marker, safety pin, whatever you have with you. Okay, so let's start making handles. So insert. So now we don't want the center point. Okay, I'm removing the stitch marker, and now what you have to do is you put chain till you reach this much length. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want more length you can put like that, but you have to join exactly over here where we have our stitch marker. Okay, so I'm going to increase it a bit. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I put total 14 foundation chain stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I'm going to join over here, exactly over here where we kept stitch marker. Okay, so this is actually easy to hold or to take from the floor or wherever you're keeping. Okay, so I'm going to join here. So I'm removing the stitch marker. Okay, and I'm going to insert my hook into the exact stitch. Okay, and I'm going to put a single crochet. Okay, and continue doing single crochet stitches till here, and again we'll do a handle over here, and we'll start from here in normal single crochet stitches till here. Again we put single crochet stitches over this foundation chain stitches. I'll show you how to do, don't worry. Just continue doing single crochet stitches from the very next stitch. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and I'm doing single crochet stitch over there into the stitch, and I'm going to start putting foundation chains till this length, or if you want to extend you can do. So I'm going to put 14 foundation chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can check like this whether you put exactly the same length or not with comparing the other side. Okay, like this. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to join as we did this side. I'm removing the stitch marker and I'm inserting my hook into exactly that stitch from where we remove the stitch marker, and I'm going to do a single crochet stitch, and I'm continue doing single crochet stitch till here, and again over the foundation chain stitches we are going to do single crochet stitches. Okay, and we'll do 3-4 rounds like this, then your handle will become very strong and you'll get a little bit broad handle. Okay, so now I'm going to continue doing single crochet stitch. Here I put single crochet stitches till here. Okay, till the beginning of the handle. So I'm going to continue doing single crochet stitches over this foundation chain stitches. Okay, so I'm going to insert my hook into the first chain stitch, and I'm going to do a normal single crochet stitch. Okay, and next one into the next stitch, next chain stitch, and I have to do single crochet stitch. So you have to continue doing like this. Don't miss this last chain stitch. If you're not putting single crochet stitch into that stitch, what will happen is this is going to happen. Okay, this won't be much stronger when you hold or when you keep something a bit heavy. It won't come off, but it will stretch. So it should be very strong. So don't miss that stitch. Insert your hook into the last chain stitch, and have to do single crochet stitches as we done in the previous foundation chains. So let's continue doing single crochet stitch till here, and you have to continue doing 3-4 rounds. Okay, okay, I'm going to continue just so. If you want to increase the rows, you can increase, or if you want to stop after finishing this row, you can finish up, doesn't matter. I want a bit more. I'm going to put 1 or 2 rows extra. Okay, so let me finish this. So here I finish the handle work. Okay, you can see the handles. So I'm going to join here. I'll just show you how to join. It's not like join. I'm going to stop this because I put 3 rows each. So insert your hook into the next stitch and pull out the hook and yarn together and do a slip stitch. Okay, and done. And now I'm going to cut the yarn. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to hide this yarn, right? So what you have to do is, previous stitch was slip stitch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the hook in the very next stitch and take yarn, and I'm doing a slip stitch. I'm going to take yarn and pull out the yarn, okay, and I'm securing it. Okay, so next what you have to do is you have to insert your hook into the next stitch and take yarn and pull out the hook and yarn together. Now you have only one loop, yarn over and pull out the yarn. Okay, so this way you can just put a knot 3-4 times, then you can cut the yarn. So now you can cut the yarn, the remaining yarn, else you can just pull like this. Okay, that also you can do if you want. I'm going to cut the yarn. Okay, so our basket is ready, or our grocery bag is ready. Okay, so now you can use as a grocery bag, or you can use a storage basket, whatever you want, whatever you like to do with this, you can. I will give you one more idea. So if you keep a sling, long sling, and if you keep a button over here, you can close this and you can use as a sling bag. And if you want to keep a zipper over here, you can keep zipper, and you can keep two slings this side and this side, and you can use a normal handbag if you want. It's looking very pretty, so you can use this for whichever way you want. Okay, so our basket is ready. Okay, so I'll just explain you one more time. Here I did 14 rows. Okay, then I put rib single crochet stitches, and from here I put normal single crochet stitches till here. Okay, it's really simple, so please do try after watching this video. And if you like this video, please do like and share it to all your friends and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.